Hello there and welcome. This is Glenn T, and you are riding the wave. New podcast show. Decided to actually put my voice out there. A little bit of an introvert, but I do have a lot on my mind, so I like to share what I think, and hopefully you guys will like to share back. You can certainly get me at ridingthewave.podcast@gmail.com. I'm also at Glenn_Town on Twitter. Those are two ways you can absolutely find me there. I will be uploading this to iTunes and to Stitcher. This way you guys can find me and get familiar with me. Very first show. So this is my very first time podcasting. I haven't done this before. A little bit about me. I was in the banking industry for 7 out of the last 10 years. Decided to switch over to insurance. Both of the fields are very convoluted, yet necessary. So I wouldn't bear any opinion on either. This show is just basically more about riding the wave. What I mean by riding the wave, because I know I've heard that already, behind the scenes obviously. Basically just riding the wave is, metaphorically speaking, the ocean being life. If you imagine the ocean as life, and in this case you would be a surfer on a surfboard. A lot of times those waves get really choppy. A lot of times they get uncontrollable. But if you're willing to surf, guess what? You can make it look good. And that's what I'm here to help you do. Make it look good. Because we're all learning. We're all on that same learning curve. None of us have the secret. Obviously, you know, there's a lot of religion there. And there's a lot of politics there for those who aren't religious. Either way, those are both dogmas that I would rather not touch. Of course, I can give you my opinion on anything, but I do not want to make this show about that. Riding the wave, you're basically just getting on that metaphorical surfboard and you're holding on and you're making it look good. Or you're going to splash in that water and who knows what's in there. From what I understand, the best waters to surf are the ones with the sharks in it. So you definitely want to keep that in mind when you're riding that metaphorical surfboard. You know, that's something that you want to keep in mind. There's a lot of sharks in that water too. So, why did I decide to podcast? For me, I decided to podcast because I like to talk, but I'm not the most social. Have you ever met that person that, I mean, they may look really nice, you know, they may smile a lot, their disposition is pleasant, but they just don't talk. They could be in your training class, they can be at your job, they can be in your school. There's, you know, plenty of places that you can find these people. I've met some myself, so I know they exist aside from me, but that's me. So this is kind of a voice without a face. You know, it takes away from all of the fears of people seeing you, public speaking, etc. You can kind of just take the approach of saying what you want, being yourself. Every time I think of this podcast, Riding the Wave, I think of being in my car and on my way to work or from work. You know, I just get tired of listening to music sometimes, and you just want to hear somebody that may be a little bit different. You know, somebody that's just not on the radio every single day, telling you about the weather, who's been killed, you know, what's about to blow up, what conspiracies, who's leaving emails, and who's telling on who. If it's not that, it's going to be some type of reality show. I have nothing against reality shows. Just want to let you know that. I'm not the hugest fan, but, you know, certainly it is a version of reality for whoever depicts it to be as such. It is certainly entertainment, to say the least. So me, just in my home studio. I normally work from home. So basically it's just, you have to make a world around that. For those of you that work from home, you kind of understand that. Your world no longer is the outside. It is now the inside of your home. So, of course, you're going to have all the bells and whistles and make sure everything is up and running. But you don't want society to forget about you. So this is one way of giving back. Besides that, a lot of us live our lives where we just totally just live. I mean, we just eat food, we work, we might get a travel, some vacation time in there or something. We take, we take, we go shopping and we get all of these experiences. But sometimes you just have to stop and give back. Just think about it sometimes and say, hey, did I offer anybody any advice that can really use it? Did I drop somebody any money? What did I do to give back? I know I've done a lot in the way of taking, or not even taking, but let's just put, for the sake of vitality in the conversation, let's just put earned. A lot of times we are earners. From when we leave our schools and our education, we become earners. We become people who are part of society, who earns from the sweat of their brow, from their knowledge, from whatever walk of life you've actually been in. There's something there that you can give back in that way, but you're taking at the same time. You know, you wouldn't do it if you weren't getting paid for it. And it's a lot of time, that's why there's volunteer work. That is something that, you know, also is very fulfilling. I find giving back in that way is a very fulfilling way. But not everybody has time to do these things. So when you really start to think about it, what we do is just earn, and we enjoy our earnings, the fruits, you know, of our labor. But at what point are we going to start giving back? Because it's only but so much stuff that you can truly enjoy without allowing somebody else to enjoy it. Do you realize that when you give back, you even allow somebody to believe in a higher power? I'm sure that, you know, went over a couple of people's heads, but think about it for a moment. That guy that's down on his luck, or that lady that's down on his luck, that's been living out in the street for some time now. You know, I'm sure a lot of them are probably at their wits' end. Should I continue praying? Should I continue believing in God? And then you have some that actually just won't stop. And then all of a sudden, guess what? Somebody comes to them with a sandwich, a hot cup of coffee, $1. You just increase that person's faith. It's not even so much that burger or that, you know, that hot beverage that you gave that person, but the fact that they asked God for it and God used you as a vehicle. You probably didn't even realize it, but it's a good way of looking at it. You know, if you guys ever want to give back, one thing I can honestly say is God likes those kind of deeds that can be done consistently, even if they're those small ones. So you just think about that. You know, it doesn't require you, you know, building a paradise for somebody. But that cup of coffee, you know, that hot sandwich, that, you know, that moment, that acknowledgement that you've given to that person can probably do them more good for a longer period of time than it took you to actually make it happen for them. And, you know, this is what brought me into the world of podcasting, to be honest. You know, there's a lot of people that are rich and are well off, and they're, you know, they're doing well for themselves, but they're earners. So it's really hard to give back, and maybe just listening to this sometimes would let you know that giving back is not as hard as you think. It just takes a few minutes of your day. Something where you can just do consistently. I mean, even if it's once a week, once a month, but you just don't forget it. You just consistently do the same thing that helps people. You can change one life, even. You've done a good deed. It doesn't require for you to make such big things happen, but it requires for you to make action. Imagine if everybody acted in that same selfish manner. Would anybody have unless they earned? People have to give to make the world go round. What do you think? And again, just for those of you who's tuning in, this is Glenn T, and you're listening to Riding the Wave, brand new podcast. We're just bringing you to shore in the smoothest way possible in this metaphorical ocean that we are in called life, and that surfboard is our everyday action. So we want to just ride that surfboard all the way up to shore. If you can do some tricks and make it look good without getting hurt, wonderful. Otherwise, just hold on tight and make sure you don't fall, because there's a lot of sharks in the water. So again, you know, I want to get you guys' opinions. You know, let me know what you want to hear. A lot of times, people who offer these podcasts, they just don't know what they want to hear. And also, what I want from you guys, if anybody's out there that feels like they would like to be on my show, give me an email, reach out to me on Twitter. Again, that Twitter account is Glenn_Town. You'll find me there. Let me know what you guys think, any opinions, anything that you want to address. My views are only my own. My perceptions are my own, and they are my reality, not yours. But if my reality can affect yours in a good way, then I've done my job. And that's really all I want to do. I just want to give back a little bit to the people that has helped me along the way. Obviously, you guys don't know that you've helped me along the way, but me lending my hand backwards and pulling somebody else up is a way of showing that your help actually worked for me. So I just want to give back. You're going to be hearing a lot more of me. I do have a range of topics. Again, this is Riding the Wave. This is Glenn T. This is my very first podcast. Just want to make you guys comfortable with my voice, just so you get more familiar, just get to know me better, ask me questions, interact with me. And I'm going to be looking for you guys' comments. Again, Glenn_Town at Twitter, ridingthewave.podcast@gmail.com. Again, that's ridingthewave.podcast@gmail.com. But, I'm definitely hoping that I can give back to you guys in a way where it's beneficial. Just want to give a little word of advice for anybody that wants to start anything or stop anything. It is as simple as that. Period. I used to think that it was very difficult, but it's actually not. This month makes a year that I quit cigarettes. That was definitely something that I was doing for a long time. That was actually cold turkey. Caught a really bad cold, just to make a long story short. And I said, I don't know where I heard it from, but if you go 3 days without smoking a cigarette, then your body tells you you're not addicted. And hey, I just gave it a shot. I was in bed for 3 days. I said, listen, I haven't smoked a cigarette in 3 days. I shouldn't get another one. And I never looked back, actually. I just decided to quit. So that's huge. Just for anybody who's looking to quit, it's all in the mind. I don't miss it one bit. And no, it's not like that movie Get Out. I wasn't hypnotized or anything. But yes, it is all in the mind. You can just simply tell yourself you don't want to do something anymore and stick to your guns. Also helps you in a dual process, because what happens is this. Not only does it let you know that it's mind over body, but it also makes you a person of your word. You didn't get that dual lesson in that. It makes you a person of your word. If you can hold your word to yourself, how much more can you hold it to someone else? We put on airs for everybody else and ourselves. I don't know. I always had a hard time lying to myself. So there you have it. I tell myself if I'm going to do something, I'm just going to go ahead and do it. Obviously, not everybody's discipline is like that. But again, it is definitely mind over body. You can do it. Just go ahead and put the cigarettes down. It's a nasty habit. With that being said, I just want to say that, I want to welcome myself into the podcast world. Quite a few people out there. Again, my name is Glenn T, and this is Riding a Wave. I do look forward to you guys reaching out to me. Again, you can catch me on Twitter at Glenn_Town. Also on Gmail at ridingthewave.podcast@gmail.com. I look forward to all of you guys' comments, questions, suggestions, anything like that. Things that you wanted me to talk about. Just welcome me into the world, just embracing me itself. I'm looking forward to it. I know it's going to be a journey, but I certainly look forward to it. I look forward to you guys. I look forward to hearing from you guys. And I look forward to interacting. Again, if you guys want to feature me on your show, I'll be more than happy to. And I will be more than happy to go over any guests that would like to be featured on my show. Again, this is Riding the Wave. We're just simply being honest on this show and giving our advice in ways where it can be appreciated. Again, this is my perception, my opinion. This is my reality only. You can choose to listen to me or not. Obviously, I would want for you to listen to me rather than not. And hopefully I can change a few minds out there with something good. Again, this is Glenn T. I'm signing out. Hopefully I'll hear from you guys soon.